The Department of Diplomacy is part of the College of International Affairs. And as you can tell from the slide, we offer 3 types of degree programs: bachelor program, master program, and PhD programs. So if you're interested in the international affairs and if you are a high school student, then we're the only department within the college that offers bachelor degree program. So that is the kind of overview of the college. You'll hear from other programs later on today. So before I move on to talk more in detail about the courses, the extracurricular learning opportunities, just some of the highlights about our department. So our department has quite a long standing history. So it's over 19 years of history. So as you can imagine, there's a kind of wide range of collective wisdom from alumni, from previous and existing Voice for You. And for our students and alumni, we have obviously local students and international students, and we can find alumni all over the world and in different fields.
Our foreign students, alumni, we can include ambassadors and representatives, people working now in the United Nations. For example, I know of a case of a former Paraguayan student who graduated from our department, and now she is working as part of the Paraguay's representation in the United Nations. So this is just only one of many examples that we have from people from different countries that have come to Taiwan. They have chosen the Department of Diplomacy, and after graduation, they have successfully inserted themselves professionally in different important aspects back in their countries or also here in Taiwan. Also staff of foreign representative offices in Taiwan, as I just mentioned, but also private entrepreneurs. They decided to start their own businesses in consultancy, for example, or trading firms, etc. There's also the academic path, as it is my case, which they become researchers, professors, etc. So you can see there's a very, very wide opportunities that you can choose if you come to study in our department.
And there are kind of other opportunities as well. So mainly we'll probably focus on 3 types of career paths for our students. So some of them work in public sector for different governments. And because the kind of the perspective for international affairs is very important, not only for foreign affairs. So we do have alumni working at other kind of agencies within governments as well. So not only foreign affairs, some of them about national security, about immigration, economic affairs, all these are part of the career possibilities. And again, there are quite a big number of students that work in private sectors after they graduate. So many of them work in the field of media and communications, and some of them work more on the business side of the industries. And obviously, there's a third possibility, which is academic research. So I myself is one of such example. I graduated from NCCU, from this very department. And after I graduated, I decided to pursue kind of further studies and research, and ended up coming back to my own university to teach. So these are kind of the potential career development opportunities for our students.
Let me explain a little bit what kind of courses we offer so you have a better idea, a clear picture of what you're going to study if you come with us in the diplomacy department. For the bachelor level, as Jada was mentioning earlier, we are still a department in which most of our courses are taught in Chinese. So a certain level of Chinese language proficiency will be required. But as it is a trend in most departments of Taiwan, we are also opening more and more courses in English. Some of these required courses will also probably have an option of being offered in English, but still it's important that you keep in mind that you still need certain level of Chinese because most of the courses are still taught in Chinese. But for the freshman students, we have the required courses. These are the ones that are indicated with an R in parentheses, such as international relations, for example, economics, diplomatic history of China, Western diplomatic history, introduction to qualitative and quantitative research methods, etc. So these are required courses. These are courses that all of the students will need to take. In those at the sophomore level, we also have international organizations, international political economy, international security, mainland China studies, comparative government and politics. And for the third year students, the junior level students, we have leadership and foreign policy decision analysis, public international law, international negotiation, area studies, international economic and trade affairs, etc. So in these three first years, there's still many required courses and required elective courses that students need to combine with other elective courses, either from our departments, from other departments as well. There might be certain restrictions, but these are something that eventually you will get to know if you come to our department. And for the fourth year students, it's already a little bit more open. Students are have more autonomy in the decisions of the courses that they want to take, together, of course, with more opportunities such as internships or looking for opportunities to start inserting themselves into the professional life after graduation. So I mentioned earlier there was area studies courses. These you will have to choose one out of 10 different options that we will be offering throughout your time in NCCU. So these are the 10 regions that are covered: Northeast Asia, Southeast Asia, South Asia, the European Union, Russia and Eastern Europe, Middle East, North America, Latin America, Africa, and Oceania, which is Australia, New Zealand, and the Pacific Islands. So you get to choose one at least from these regional studies or area studies, and from the international economic and trade affairs required elective courses, you also need to choose at least one. And the options that you have is international trade, international economics, international marketing, and international finance. So as you could see, the specific regulations is the students are required to complete 54 credits in their major, 28 credits in general education, 4 credits in physical education, and 42 elective credits that I mentioned is the ones that you have the autonomy to choose from our department and probably from other departments as well, for a total of 128 credits. So once you complete all of these credits successfully, you will be ready for graduation. For the master level, of course, it's usually a 2-year program, and this also it's divided into required elective, and elective courses. So there are 3 required courses for these 2 years of studies that we usually expect students to complete. These research methods, naturally, it's international relations theory and its cases of the International Court of Justice. For required elective as well, we also require students to choose one of the many area studies that we also open for master levels, together with international organizations or international political economy. And for elective courses, we have many different choices, including traditional issues such as international security, for example, law of the sea, IPE, also rising issues such as sustainable development, global finance. You can choose other different courses from area studies, and also specific countries or specific areas, foreign policies or foreign policy analysis. So usually it's very, very complete and very comprehensive. And our PhD level, for those that are interested in PhD level or programs PhD on diplomacy, also require 3 courses: the research methods, international relations theory, seminar on political economy. It is also important to remember that for both the master program and the PhD program, students are required to write a dissertation, a thesis, a master thesis or a PhD thesis. And in this case, if you're not confident enough that your Chinese is advanced enough to write a dissertation, of course, we allow students to write their dissertations in English. So you have this kind of advantage. And of course, we also still offer some of these courses in English. But remember, as I emphasized earlier, it is important that you have certain level of Chinese proficiency, because still many of our courses are taught in Chinese. So Besides the courses, we also offer other kind of activities and opportunities so students have the chance to combine theory and practice. For example, we have that every year our department selects about 20 students to attend the NMUN, the National Model United Nations in the United States. That it's, of course, a mock United Nations that is held in the actual headquarters of the UN in New York, with participants not only from the US, but actually from all over the world. And every year, our diplomacy tends to send one delegation. And for the past 10 years, we have had very positive results, as you could see in the list, from honorable mentions to distinguished delegation, outstanding position paper, etc. So we are also very experienced in providing our students with this kind of opportunities.
So moving beyond that, just secondly, I'll just talk briefly about exchange program. So for NCCU, or I should say for our department, we have students who are taking part in exchange programs at the university level, and we also have exchange programs at the college level. So College of International Affairs also have agreements with other universities that send students for exchange programs. So possible destinations, as you can see here, quite wide range of region and quite a wide range of territories and countries that are covered. And for students of our department, we're in I would say many years, our students are among the top 3 or top 5 kind of sources of department where students will go for exchange programs. So some of our students will spend a semester, some of them will spend a year abroad in these exchange programs to have a different type of learning experience. And as you can see on the chart on the right, different regions are well, our students go to different regions of the world as well. So in addition to outgoing exchange students, obviously we have incoming exchange students as well. So you'll have the opportunity to not only learn with Taiwanese students, we have international exchange students joining us in our classes as well.
So I'm also going to talk a little bit about the extracurricular activities. Besides, of course, the course load and homeworks, assignments, etc., there's also other chances for you to socialize, to get closer to classmates, to have fun, but at the same time, try to develop this spirit of knowing more about Taiwan, of knowing more about NCCU, about life in NCCU. For example, we are very famous for this so-called diplomacy ball that is organized every year. It's a big event. It's kind of a prom night, but it's actually open for all of the students in Taiwan. So it's a chance for you to wear your tuxedo, to wear your long gown, and attend a kind of diplomatic ball, as it's used to be for precisely diplomats. It's a way for you to experience not only what's to attend that, but actually some of our students, of course, are in charge of the organization of this. And this gives you an idea of how important it is to organize this kind of events, what kind of details you need to pay attention to, etc. There's another picture of the NMUN that I was mentioning earlier. It's one delegation that I mentioned visited this big hall where the General Assembly meets every year. So it gives you an idea of how important also social events are in our department. There's also many activities you can join that are organized by NCCU. We have the choral competition, we have sports day, and we also have every year the organization in our department of a Christmas holidays, December holidays, Christmas party for all of our students. And there's also many clubs that you can join. And there's also teams that represents our diplomacy department in basketball, volleyball, badminton, baseball, debate teams that also participate in international events or in cross-straits events. So it's really fruitful. And some of our students, of course, they're also part of these NCCU teams in basketball and other major sports in which our university, probably you have already heard, it's very competitive in terms of national sports here in Taiwan.
Finally, admission. So obviously, if you need details about the criteria, about the deadlines, about the materials, I highly encourage you to check the kind of full information. But just to give you an idea of what the process might look like. So as I mentioned earlier, our programs are not English talk programs. So there are kind of Chinese language proficiency requirements here in all these programs. But for just to give you an idea of how the process will look like for the bachelor degree, you will need to apply, first you will need to prepare materials, so application materials. And there's also another portion of for online interview. So it's not merely just review on paper, there will be online interview as well. And for the application materials, as you can imagine, parts of it relates to language proficiency, part of it relates to how kind of you're motivated and your interests in our department would be like, and that's how you show your connection with the department. And for the Chinese language requirements, as I mentioned, there is such a requirement for all 3 degree programs. So for the bachelor program, that is the requirements listed here. Moving on to master program. For master program, all these criteria and process are quite similar. But for master program, there's no online interview. There's only the review of application materials. So you need to have, again, language proficiency materials and materials about yourself. And obviously for master program, part of the big part of a program is writing a thesis. So you would need to have a research proposal highlighting what kind of giving the idea of what you plan to do for your research. And that is how we can assess whether you are a good fit for our department. And moving further to PhD program, very similar to master program, only review of written materials. And the application material is also quite similar, both in terms of language, in terms of introducing yourself. And there is also obviously the requirement of a research proposal to highlight what you want to do for your doctoral thesis. So these are just some of the highlights for the admission requirements and details. Again, you're very encouraged to check out more detailed information on the university's website. So that's mostly it for the introduction for our department, and hopefully this piqued your interest one way or another. And this is a QR code that leads you to our department's website. So if you have any questions about what I just said, or just about our department in general, you're very welcome to contact the department, or you can find me on the website as well. You're very welcome to send me an email if you have any questions about our program. And for the application, details about the application, and also information about the university's office for international cooperation, these are the QR code that will lead you there. So with that, I'll end my presentation here, and thank you very much for your attention. Again, I welcome any questions, and I look forward to the opportunity to meeting you in person at NCCU one day. Thank you.